Do you want
this is an option of what he could do.
Hang on, we're going to play a clip from Mike McCormick on with Jerry Yeager earlier this week.
You have to have a police presence. You can't just go in and take a short-term sort of approach to this and say, okay, we're going to bring the police in, we're going to make some arrests, and then we're going to pull out, and then allow this cycle to continue.
Daryl, you listened to it was a great interview with Jerry Yeager here on News Talk 1010, and he makes an excellent point there.
He does. In fact, I was quite impressed with the interview that he had with Jerry, and I was surprised that Jerry didn't sniper him on more issues, but he seemed to give him a break. But he said the right things. He talked about police being role models, police earning credibility in communities, and things like this. And this is, I remember back in the early 90s, I presented a paper at the Academy of Criminal Justice Sciences in Boston on community policing because it was sort of coming to fruition in modern-day policing. And if you look at where I was then in bringing this paper forward and where the direction of community policing was supposed to go, we're still not there, and it's 20 years later.
When we come back
we're not even close to where community policing should be.
When we come back from the break, Daryl's going to stay with us, Ross McLean's going to stay with us, and we're also going to take some calls. Gary's been waiting patiently. So please come back after the break. You're listening to Joe Warmington on the Late Shift on In-Depth Radio, News Talk 1010.
A lot of times when we are confronting people who are carrying firearms, they know that they've got a firearm. We might not know that initially, and they're trying to get out of there, and they will do anything they can. So we've had members shot at before as people are running away and stuff like that. So it is a huge concern for our membership safety-wise.
I thought there was no problem with guns in the town. But, Mike McCormick is spelling it out there. Chief Blair has spelled it out. Daryl Monahan is joining us, and Ross McLean and Ross McLeod has been on. A lot of people, Ross McLean, care about this city, and it's not going to be solved by any one entity. It's going to take an openness and people to share ideas and to come to some sort of, agreement on what needs to be done.
Oh, that's absolutely.
Hang on, we lost your mic there. We'll get it fixed. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Ross.
Absolutely. You don't have me back.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a team effort. It's a community effort. And this is what people have to watch for, the leadership on this. Look at Mayor Ford, to make the analogy here, when he was doing his weigh-ins, he used to, do his weigh-ins once a week or then once a month or some such thing. I think the Premier should be speaking at least once a month on this. He should be saying what's done, what's happening, what we're changing, how we're working to make it safer for the people in Toronto.
And also, as you mentioned before, his other ministers. I mean, it's not just the police that... I'm tired of the police getting the blame for all this. I mean, it's not their fault.
Oh, I could list at least 3 things for each one of them they should be doing. Number one, they should close the loop on the statistics for us. I mean, I think you wrote one time, I read your columns, you asked them, how many people are out on house arrest who are committing violent crimes? And I think their answer to you was, they don't keep statistics on that.
Yeah.
So we don't even know if we've got 50, 500, or 5,000 people who are out on house arrest who are violent criminals.
Daryl?
I think, I agree with Ross. There's lots we can do in this, and maybe this is a little off topic, but one thing I would like to see is I'd like to see Mayor Ford get out of the chief's way and let him do his job. I disagree a little bit with Ross about the meeting of the gun committee or whatever the heck you want to call it. I mean, I'm surprised the Premier even showed up to that. And I've talked to you about this, Joe. I think the Premier slapped the chief's hand and the mayor's hand and told them to get their house in order, and you got the money and you need to fix this. And I think what the mayor needs to do is get out of the chief's way, let the chief do his job. He knows what to do. And if there's one message I could give to the chief, I'd like him to take a journey, an 18-inch journey from his brain to his heart. It's probably the longest journey he's ever going to take, and start policing our communities with his heart, because I know he has one, and I know he's an exceptional man, and do what he needs to do.
Well, the one thing I'll say about Chief Blair is that he did step to the forefront, and even in the situation with Eaton Center. You didn't hear him saying any of that nonsense about it being, other people said it, but he knows what it is.
He knows what to do. I mean,
and he knows what this is too.
And you know what? The chief was in a meeting with the mayor and the premier, and the other people at the table are people that I know. I've been there. The chief is meeting with the attorney general, the solicitor general, the ministers and deputy ministers of public safety and corrections all the time. This is his job. This is nothing but a photo op, and I just would like to see the mayor, put the windows up in his new caddy, stay out of the chief's way, start working on other community issues in Toronto, maybe with Toronto Housing Authority. Let the chief do the policing aspect.
Okay,
I think he's jamming them up.
Okay, well, we'll come back to that and say, let's take a call from Gary. Welcome to the Late Shift, Gary. Are you there, Gary?
Yeah, you got me now.
Yeah, I thought. Welcome. Go ahead. You're on with Daryl Monahan and Ross McLean.
How you doing there, gentlemen?
Good.
Yeah, good.
I tell you, when Danzig happened, I left a message for the investigator. I said, you know what? Put a $5,000 reward out right away for just information leading to an arrest and a felony charge, because that's what they do in Houston, Texas. And here's the stats. Here's the chief's office. Here's the homicide guy. Here's the Crime Stoppers guy. They wouldn't do it, so I filed an OIPRD complaint on Friday that I've had it. I hit the street for the last 4 days talking to cops. And, Joe, I only asked them 2 questions. If you could do an FOI, what would you ask for? And if you had a poll in your pay envelope, what would you like to be asked? I got 31 FOIs already. I'm going to mail 1 a day for
What'd
the
they
next
say?
31 days and drive them nuts. And I'm going to put together a poll, give it to the Police Services Board, and say, here, ask your men, ask the guys on the street, like your 2 guests, ask experienced policemen what their thoughts are. How can we do it better? But you know what? If they don't do it, I'll tell you, if I'm going to get all these FOIs together, when they say, yes, we'll give it to you, and no, we're not, this is how much it's going to cost, I'm going to bundle it all together,
okay,
give it to the Police Services Board, and say, here, you ask these questions. It's not my job.
Okay, and Gary, thank you for the call.
I'm hot under the collar. I'm hot.
No, it's great. It's great passion. Thank you for the call, and please call back. We've got about 30 seconds left. Daryl Monahan first. Just wrap up for us.
Yeah, I'm happy with this week. It doesn't seem like we've had much gun crime. I'm just hoping the bad guys aren't saving their boats for Carabana.
When are you doing that trip down to Chicago?
I'm there August 24th to 26th.
Okay, we'll have time to talk about. We'll have time to talk about that next time. And thank you, Daryl, very much for joining us as always. And we'll have you back, and we'll talk about the Guardian Angels. Now, Ross McLean, last word to you.
That last caller had an excellent point. One thing we have to see, you'll see, is that this police board and this police service don't take criticism or ideas very well.
And I think that's something that why we're doing shows on it. We're trying to help them, and we really are. And I hope that they realize that they can come on this show and talk to us. I put a request in today. Love to have them on, and I don't mind if they argue. You can see all points of view are welcome here. And we're going to go to the news here at midnight. Thank you for listening to the Late Shift, and we'll see you next week. And also, I'm going to be filling in for Jim Richards on Thursday and Friday, so please tune in as well. Thank you very much, everybody. In Depth Radio, News Talk 1010, Scrawler out.